It's 5:45 p.m., which means it's time for BCTV's Nightly News Roundup. I'm Roland Boyden, and this is 545 Live. Tonight, Senator Peter Galbraith talks more about Vermont's latest impending merger. We'll hear from Harris Hill Co-Chair Betsy Farley at the Jump with Joe, and 9 local women look to use their senior discount on making bail. All that and more, and remember, we're going to try and do it all in 15 minutes, so stick with us here on 545 Live.
Tonight, 14,736 registered voters could have been in this room. The totals tonight, 89 registered voters, or 0.6%. Next time, bring some friends and bring them roses because tonight was Valentine's Day.
And welcome back to this February 15th, 2012 edition of 545 Live. That's WTSA's Tim Johnson reprising his yearly role as moderator of the Brattleboro Union High School annual meeting where, as Tim poked some gentle fun at in that clip, less than 1% of registered voters from Brattleboro and the surrounding areas BUHS serves showed up to discuss and approve the school's sizable budget. All right, moving on. Despite concerns that weather well into the 40s for the better part of 2 weeks will hinder conditions for this week's international ski jumping competition on Harris Hill, Jump Co-Chair Betsy Farley says the conditions have never been better.
We've never had better snow, if you can believe it. No one does. But because we've made so much snow this year, the jumpers and the technical people say that we have the perfect amount, not too little and not too much. So it's going to be great.
Jumpers from 6 different countries, including Norway, Austria, and the Czech Republic, will fill the roster, along with an impressive contingent from the local area. All right, next, in a repeat of last year's protest, 9 area women aged 54 to 92 have been arrested for criminal trespassing while protesting Vermont Yankee on the company's property outside the plant's Vernon headquarters. Now, our 545 Live senior news correspondent and prolific BCTV producer Maria Dominguez quickly grabbed a camera and headed downstairs to dispatch in this here 230 Main Street to catch them as these women went in for processing. We've got that clip as well.
When I was 15, I was told that the plant would shut in 2012, and I thought that was such a long way away in my mind. I'm now 56 years old, and I think it's absolutely outrageous that Entergy is trying to extend the life of this aging plant.
That's what we have to think of as future generations. But the people now who are, exposed to this cancerous radiation that is going forth from that plant every day.
The protesters were apprehended without incident and are currently scheduled to appear in Vermont Superior Court next month, though the speculation is that the Windham County District Attorney will drop the charges as they have in past months due to a disproportionate amount of the district's time taken to process such a small crime. All right, next, the impending merger of CVPS and Green Mountain Power could lead to majority seats for GMP's Canadian parent company, Gaz Metro, on the Vermont Electric Power Company board, giving Gaz Metro control over Vermont's transmission lines currently regulated by Velco. This has prompted Vermont Senators Vince Illuzzi, Tim Ashe, and Windham County's own Peter Galbraith to propose a $500 million purchase for the state that would make them the majority owner of Velco, a move Galbraith calls extremely lucrative, but Senate President Pro Tem John Campbell calls crazy. After some backroom wheeling and dealing, 7 Days News reported that Campbell called for a closed-door meeting with Illuzzi, cutting Ashe and Galbraith out of the debate, convincing Illuzzi to table the motion, only to have Galbraith introduce the amendment himself. At Monday's legislative breakfast in Brattleboro, Galbraith spoke about the importance of the amendment he says would allow Vermont to take back control of its energy future.
Let me explain what is at stake. Vermont's 2 largest utilities are planning a merger. The utilities in Vermont own Velco, which runs the transmission system, and Transco, which owns the infrastructure. So the issue here is who controls our state's key infrastructure and how are they going to use it?
On the Senate floor last week, Galbraith likened the proposed purchase to buying the lone toll booth to the state's only highway. You can get the whole story, convoluted acronyms, and all the 7 Days online newsletter chatter. That's at 7dvt.com. All right, and a few things to wrap up here before we head off for this Wednesday and prep for our serious show that we have on Friday as we try and get all the Harris Hill highlights and more coming up. But for today, I'm just going to do a little traffic, a little weather, and I'll send you on your way. We'll start with our new high-tech traffic report, which is powered by INRIX and Beat the Traffic. And I've got it fired up on the screen here, and we'll take a look at downtown, as it often is. The key strip here, if you look behind me, is a section. Wow, you even got a live change of as Putney Road just cleared up. But this section between High Street, Malfunction Junction, High Street to Canal Street, a solid block of red as the code is there. Means it's standstill traffic. Orange, heavy volume, but it's moving, applies to Western Ave and Canal Street as it often does. And if you're headed north on Putney Road, you're also in that heavy traffic that it looks like you can get through. And big blocks of green for 91 traffic goers and anybody coming down Putney Road from the north headed south. So that's our high-tech traffic report powered by INRIX and Beat the Traffic. We'll move right along to weather as we look at the next couple days here as well. All right, tonight, partly cloudy. We're going to have a low of 24, and then it's straight through the 40s, dipping down a little bit on Monday. But this weekend, it'll be highs in the 40s. Still the promise of good snow at Harris Hill, so hopefully they can make that happen despite unseasonably warm temperatures. And then it looks pretty much to stay in the 40s all the way through next Friday. So should be some pretty good weather for those of you that like spring and summer. For those of us that like to get out on the slopes and enjoy winter, it's been a little rough. You got showers coming up on Wednesday and Friday, but for the most part it'll be sunny or partly sunny, mostly cloudy for those remaining days. All right, that's our traffic report. And that just about wraps up what I've got for our show tonight. But I'll remind you that tomorrow at 6 p.m. the Marlborough Graduate Center hosts the all-ages-appropriate Southern Vermont Scrabble Club. That's in room 2NE. And also tomorrow night, it's open mic night again at the Marina. It starts at 7 p.m. On the West River off Putney Road. And tomorrow, catch an 11:15 broadcast, 11 a.m. broadcast of the latest Wyndham World Affairs Council lecture. Or find last week's Brattleboro Select Board meeting 2 clicks up the dial on Channel 10 at 5:25 p.m. All right, thanks for checking in with me here on 545 Live. I'll see you back here right on this here Channel 8, 5:45 p.m. on Friday when we get our show moving into the weekend. Remember, we'll be back then. More Harris Hill fever, including some in-studio interviews, all the headlines, traffic, weather, and more for BCTV and 545 Live. I'm Roland Boyden saying good night, everybody.